Shalom to my brothers and sisters who are in the body of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach. And shalom, shalom to the Hebrew Israelites who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Today I bring you an interesting video. Something that many Hebrew Israelites are not paying attention due to the curse that Yahuwah has placed upon them. And we'll talk more about this curse later on in the video. But the title of this video is Israelites and Gentiles, America Calendar, Missing 13 Days. Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 through 25 fulfilled. I want to repeat that again because I really want you to hear this, Israelites and Gentiles. America Calendar, missing 13 days. Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 to 25 fulfilled. Okay, so you're probably scratching your head and said, how is that fulfilling what Daniel prophesies? But first thing first are the announcements. These announcements shall be listed in the video description box, so you will have access to them. The most important announcement I want you to hear is Yahuwah prophetic message. The first message is directly to Hebrew Israelites only, and the second message is directly to Israelites and Gentiles. Now, and also in that playlist, I want you to look further down because a prophetess is also speaking now. Well, another one. Her name is Deborah Brown. You will also see her videos added to the playlist because she also has a message to all Europeans, and we know Europeans are known as Caucasians, and today the world called them the white people, quote unquote. She also has a message for the Hebrew Israelites. I highly recommend that you share those prophetic messages, my brothers and sisters, to Israelites and Gentiles. For we are truly in the last days, for we can see the signs, for the heavens and the earth are manifesting themselves to us, and we are truly in the last days. As for the other announcements, you can read them for yourself. They will be in the video description box. But the next important announcement is, which deal with this video. You will have access to learn more about the Most High calendar, as well as what is going on with the Gregorian calendar. Okay, so that would be in the video description box. But the announcement I'm talking about that was the next important one was Brother Alayasha and his family. They are truly bearing their spiritual cross in these last days. Please pray for them and do not forget about them. For those who are able, please visit them because they are locked up now, the wife and the husband, and their children has been taken into foster care. Their testimony shall also be listed in the video description box so you can listen to it. Now, the date of this video is, is August the 29th, 2017 AD. And on the heathen's calendar, the day is Tuesday, and the phase of the day is daylight. So we are in the 6th month and 7th day of the Most High calendar. And the 7th day of the 6th month falls on August the 28th to August the 29th from sundown to sundown. Okay, so now let us begin. So as this is opened up, it's so much for us to be watching and so much for us to report to our brothers and sisters. Because many people are not paying attention, and many people thinking that so much time has passed by that they doubt in the Most High Word because of how much time has passed by. But for those who have been truly studying the Word, and through the Word will teach you about our Father, and through the Word you will know about His ways and understanding. Therefore, you will understand about time unto Him. See, we thinking it's taking too long, but it's not. Our Father has all things at an appointed season for his reason. So just because you do not see the word fulfilling right then and now according to when you think it should happen, does not mean it will not come. For the word is the word, and it shall be fulfilled, but according to the Most High time. We must have patience and understanding, and we must wait on the Most High appointed time. Now for the video. Let's talk about America's calendar now. Okay. I'm just scrolling down. And I'm going to blow this up a little bit because I want you to see this. I got this from timeanddate.com. And Time and Date states this about the Gregorian calendar. It says, the Gregorian calendar was first introduced in 1582, but it took more than 300 years for all the different countries to change from the Julian calendar. Now, this paragraph is saying a whole lot. Now, if you're familiar with the Julian calendar is also a Roman calendar, as well as the Gregorian calendar is also a Roman calendar. Okay. And notice how long it took for the whole world to convert over to the Gregorian calendar. It took more than 300 years. And the Gregorian calendar was first introduced in 1582. Now, it's the reason why I mention these dates because it's very important because, again, you will begin to understand what Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 to 25 is talking about. You should also have access to this link that I got from, which is Time and Date, so you can read more about what Time and Date was saying about the Gregorian calendar. Okay, but here's the photo I want you to pay attention to, and I'm going to blow it up a little bit. Okay, let me bring it down. Sorry about that. It went back up. You know how it is with phones. Bear with me. Have some patience. Sorry. Okay. I'm trying to get it in a way where you can truly see it. So let me try to flip the phone this way and see would this work. There we go. Because I really want you to see this. Okay. And just making sure that it does. It's okay. It's not in edit mode. Good. I just want to make sure it's not in edit mode. Here you have a calendar of America for September 1752. Now I want you to pay very close attention to Thursday. Excuse me. On Thursday, you see the day is 14. But on Wednesday, you see, hold on. Sorry about that. My throat is dry. But on Wednesday, you see the day is 2. So you ask yourself, how can you jump from 2 to 14? Hold on for a second. I need to get my voice taken care of so you can clearly hear what I'm saying. Okay. How can you do that? Because we all know math and we all can count. So how can you jump from 2 to 14? Okay. I want you to think about that. Now, also, I want you to notice on this calendar, if you know anything about multiples of 7, you would know this. When you look on the calendar, let's look at Friday, for example. No, let's look at Thursday, for example. And you go down the column of Thursday. And you know you can, and if you compare 14 to 21, you get a difference of 7 days, right? Then you go to the next block below that one, 21 to 28, you get 7. So that's what I mean by multiples of 7. But when you look at Tuesday and you go from 1 to 19, is that a multiple of 7? No, because when you add 1 to 7, you get 8, right? Add 8 to 7, you get 15. And add 15 to 7, you get 22. So how can you go from 1 to 19? And this is very important because it's showing you that when the heathens realized their calendar was in error because they was not following the heavens correctly. And they still doing this today. They tried to correct their calendar. But when they made a correction, the Father in our heaven put a spirit upon them where they couldn't even do simple math. And you'll see what I'm talking about as we go to the next picture. Okay. So take this time now to pause your screen and to look at the correction that America made in their calendar for the month of September 1752. For on Wednesday was day 2, but on Thursday they jumped to day 14. Okay. Now let's look at the calendar that I have for you. Now you will have access to this folder here. You will have access to this. So don't panic about writing this down. Okay. You will have access to this photo. Now you will hear a cat in the background. Sorry about that, but you'll hear it. So what I did for you, my brothers and sisters, I wrote out September 1752 calendar before they made the correction. So that's why you see here, America, September 1752 before the 13 missing days. Okay. Because I want you to really see this. Okay. You know how it is when your screen go blank. So let's look at Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay. Before they made a correction, as you see here, Tuesday was the first day, Wednesday the second day, and Thursday the third day. And as you continue in this calendar, on the 14th day, it fell on Monday. Okay, this is before they made a correction. So what happened was the heathen realized they was 13 days behind the sun. Now this is in America now. Okay, in 1752. They realized they was 13 days behind the sun year. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. So what they did was to catch up with the sun year, they had to remove 13 days from their calendar. Now this is for America. But when they removed 13 days from their calendar, instead of starting on Monday, as you see here, which is the 14th day, they started on Thursday. Let's go back up here. See? They didn't start on Monday. Now you're probably saying that don't matter, but it does. Because all Hebrew Israelites, let me correct myself. The majority of the Hebrew Israelites are saying that the week is continuous. That means that the 7-day week never stops. That's what they're saying. It is always continuous. So if your 7-day week is always continuous, you cannot jump from, in other words, when the heathens made the correction, they should have started on Monday and not on Thursday. You can't do that. This is simple math. Just write it out. If you're saying that the 7-day week is continuous, that means Sunday for most people, because I believe something different. But if you're saying Sunday is the first day and Saturday is the 7th day, that runs continuous regardless. So you cannot jump from, in other words, when the heathens made their correction, they should have started on Monday and not Thursday. Because even the heathens believe that the 7-day week is continuous. This is simple math, my brothers and sisters. Write it out. And for those who don't understand math, seek Yahuwah, and he will give you understanding, or the Most High may lead you to someone who's good in math. And this is another proof. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Remember, I was talking about multiples of 7. So let's look at Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going to bring the screen back up. Wednesday and Thursday. Now, this is before the heathens made a correction. So Wednesday, you have it started on day 2, right? So we do a multiple of 7. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. And 16 plus 7 is 23. And 23 plus 7 is 30. Do you see how that column's flowing? In multiples of 7. Let's look at Thursday. Thursday began on, and I'm sorry how my screen is doing, began on day 3. So if I add 7 to 3, I get 10. If I add 7 to 10, I get 17. And I add 7 to 24. And that block is blank because September only has 30 days. Do you see what I'm talking about? So when we go back and we look at the calendar of the 13 missing days, you don't have multiples of 7. Dealing with for the column of Tuesday and for the column of Wednesday. This is why I'm telling you that for them to start on Thursday, they were incorrect. They should start on Monday. I hope you are understanding what I'm saying, but if not, I have more proof. Okay. So after we have looked at this, we had just understand that, well, the heathens realized they was 13 days behind the sun year. 13 days. Something to really think about. And we just learned that the correct day should have started on Monday. But here's another proof of evidence that I'm giving to you, Hebrew Israelites and Gentiles, on why this calendar is incorrect. Everything about this calendar is wrong. The day, the month, and even their weekly format is all wrong. It would not give you Yahuwah's 7th day. It would not. And here's the proof. When we look at earlier on time of date gave us the date when the Gregorian calendar began. And it began in 1582 AD. Now you need to ask yourself, that date is way later after creation. Again, how can the heathen calendar give you the correct 7th day of the week for their calendar didn't start until late? And it was under the Romans, heathens. Okay, think about it. So when we convert the 1582 AD into Yahuwah's time, you will learn that that fell in the 7th day from Adam. And when you convert the 7th day from Adam, you will learn that it's the 12,000 year from creation. So the Gregorian calendar fell in the 12,000 year from creation. So Hebrew Israelites, how can you rely on that calendar? This come from heathens. Okay? It don't come from Israelites. This come from heathens. Let's keep going. Another thing you want to look at is, let me get this right, the Julian calendar, because you learn from that paragraph from time and date that before the Gregorian calendar, they was using the Julian calendar. So the Julian calendar began in 45 BC. And when I convert that in Adam's time, that is it fell in the 5th day from Adam. And if you convert that in creation time, you would get in the 10,000 year. Make sure I look at that right. Yeah, in the 10,000 year. Again, Hebrew Israelites, how can the Roman calendar give you Yahuwah's 7th day? It didn't start in creation. Think about it. These are heathens. Another thing we need to look at is that before the Julian calendar, we have to look at the date of the original ancient Roman calendar. And that began in 753 BC. And 753 BC fell in the 4th day from Adam. And when I convert that into creation time, you will learn that it is the 9,000 year from creation. Okay? Something to really think about. So how can the ancient Roman calendar give you, Hebrew Israelites, Yahuwah's 7th day? It didn't start in creation. You understand? These are heathens. You need to ask yourself that. Let me get my screen right so you can see. Okay. Another thing you need to know about the ancient Roman calendar, it began with 10 months and they followed the sun. Later on, they added 2 months. Now, another thing that people don't know is that the ancient Roman calendar first month was March. It was not January. And we'll talk more about this further in this video. See, these are things that you don't know because none of you are taking time to research the history on this calendar we are following. A lot of you are following these groups and these camps, and you're not seeking Yahuwah for his truth. For it was Yahuwah who showed me the truth of his calendar and the lies of the Gregorian, the Julian, and the ancient Roman calendar. Again, Yahuwah's ways is not our ways, and his thoughts is not our thoughts. Isaiah chapter 55. You get some time, read that. It is truly the opposite of what man say. Okay, let us keep going. So let me get my screen right. Okay, so you probably ask, well, what is the current date? Okay, so this is what you need to know right now. We are in the 7th day from Adam. And when you convert that into creation time, it is the 12,000 year from creation. And sorry about my screen. Just don't want to act right. You know how it is. But all praise and all praises to Yahuwah, because this word shall go forth about the American calendar. So let us continue. The devil shall not stop us. So when I convert the 7th day, So when the Most High had me go back and to recalculate the years, starting from the book in Genesis and working myself up to present day, this is what I have so far. And I'm not saying this is the exact year, but this is what I have so far for the year of 2017 AD. Okay. I have 7,485th year from Adam. Okay. Beta Israel was also known as, and forgive me if I misspelled that word, known as Kusta. Okay. And I got this from Wikipedia by looking up Beta Israel. They have 7,088 years. And the Jewish people of today, who are the sons of Esau and the sons of Japheth, they have 5,777. Now, the reason why they have lesser than what Beta Israel and I have, okay, it's because they don't believe in the Messiah, so they omitted those years. That's what they did. But if you notice here with Beta Israel and what I have, it confirmed that we are in the 7th day of Yahuwah. And you're probably asking yourself, why is this important? It is very important to know what day you are in from Adam, because when you know that day, do you know when it's the season for the Messiah to return? See, the 7th day is the season for the Messiah to return. He can return at any day, month, or year now in the 7th day, my brothers and sisters. Now, you probably say, well, how did Sister Yuta get this information? Well, I read the hidden books. And through the Spirit gave me understanding what the hidden books were saying. And we'll talk more about that in this video, what those books I read, because the answer is there, but all you have to seek it. Okay. Now, I do need to mention this book because I did admit it. 1st and 2nd Adam and Eve also give you important information about time and with the Messiah. Okay. That was one book I left off the list in this video, but we'll talk about the rest as we go further down. So this is how I know that it's why it's so important to know what day you are in from Adam, because when you read 2nd Ezra chapter 7, you will learn that the 7 days that are mentioned in that chapter is 7,000 years dealing from the days of Adam. Read that chapter and you'll understand what I'm talking about. And the reason why this is so important, because Satan is trying to keep you off guard so you won't be ready when the Messiah comes back. This is why in the gospel, the Messiah said what? Watch and pray. The servants of the Most High are supposed to know these things. The bride of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach are supposed to know these things. The 144,000 are supposed to know these things. Okay. Now, we talked about what most Hebrew Israelites believe. I ain't gonna say all, but what most, and what, including the Gentiles, y'all believe that the week is a continuous 7-day. So this is my questions to you. How can the heathen calendar give you the correct day when it came later? And let me get my little screen right, does not follow the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And forgive me for my error, but it will say does not. So the heathen's calendar that we're following today does not follow the heavens that is mentioned in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. It does not follow the sun, the moon, or Mazzaroth. And those who are keeping a record and going out and observing the heavens, you got to go out and do that too, my brothers and sisters. You would notice that the heathen calendar do not match up. It is completely out of order. This is why in 1582, they had to make changes. This is why they had to take away days, but the Most High put a spirit upon them where they didn't take away it correctly. Okay. Do you see where I'm going with this? So again, how do you know you have the 7th day? Hebrew Israelites. See, if you read and studied the word, the Most High always give us signs because he knew what the heathens would do. He knew they would take away our identity, take away our language, take away our culture, take away some of our hidden books, because there's so many books that are written that we don't have access to. So the Most High knew all these things, but little did they know he was a step ahead of them. See, they forgot about the Spirit. The Spirit will show you all truths. The Spirit shall give you Yahuwah understanding and wisdom. Okay. So this is another proof, because a lot of y'all are stuck on the 7-day continuous week. But remember, the heathens taught you this. Nowhere in the Bible you will find it written that the week is continuous. I checked myself, my brothers. I've been there where you was at, my brothers and sisters. I've been there. Nowhere could I find a scripture in the Bible that say that the 7-day week is continuous. And you probably scratch your head, what is Sister Yida talking about? So this is what I'm talking about here. Here's the problem when people read Genesis chapter 1. You actually believe that the Most High created all creations within 7 days. You're looking at a 24-hour period. But when you read the whole volume of the book, as well as the other hidden books, you will learn that he created all creations within 7,000 years, not 7 days based on a 24-hour period. This is why you can't see what the word is telling you. And also because of the curse that he placed upon Israel. But we'll talk about the curse later. Here's the proof. Look at Adam. The word said that when Adam ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that he would die in that day. So what day did Adam die in? He died in the 6th day. Now, will you understand that the 6th day unto Yahuwah is what? 6,000 years. For 1,000 years is a day unto Yahuwah. That's in the book of Peter's and also in the book of Psalms. So again, you got to read the whole volume of the book. And another proof of this, when you read Genesis chapter 5, you will learn that Adam's age of death was 6,930 years. In the 6th day from creation, let me bring this over a little bit so you can see. In the 6th day from creation. This is why you have a hard time accepting the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth calendar, Hebrew Israelites. This is why you have a hard time accepting that the weekday is not continuous. Again, remember I told you about the Most High, that his ways is not your ways and his thoughts is not your thoughts. Remember, Hebrew Israelites, you've been taught by the heathens. You have their knowledge, their understanding, their wisdom, which is man stuff. But you're not seeking Yahuwah's wisdom, Yahuwah's knowledge. and Yahuwah's understanding. So here's the books that I'm telling you to read. The Book of Jubilee, 1st and 2nd Enoch, the works of Josephus. Now I'm going to elaborate a little bit on the works of Josephus, because you have to understand, when the heathens went into our books and stuff and made transliteration, you would see where they put their little spin on things. But however, the Most High was very clever. He had Josephus to write certain things that they didn't see that would confirm his calendar. For example, in the book of Josephus, he gives you when is the sheaf wave offering day. This is the day when the Hebrew Israelites bring the first fruits of the barley harvest. Also, this is the day when the Messiah resurrected from the grave. And in the book of Josephus, he said that this sheaf wave offering day occurs on Abib 16. Always. So those who have a record of Yahuwah's calendar, if your sheaf wave offering day does not fall on Abib 16, I guarantee you're following what the heathens told you about the 7-day continuous week. This is why. Another proof that Josephus provide is the wood offering festival day. And yes, we do have a wood offering festival day. It's in the book of Nehemiah. We confirm. And if you go back to Torah, you'll see little hints about it. But the wood offering festival day only occurs on the 5th month and 14th day. And the 5th month is known as Ab. Now, if you know anything about wood offering, that on that festival day, everyone participated in gathering wood for the temple, because you have to have wood to burn the sacrifices. Okay. But also, according to Torah, this is what Israelites should know. Can we gather wood on the Sabbath day, the 7th day of Yahuwah? No. I know it's in Torah. I think it's the book of Numbers. An Israelite was stoned for gathering wood on the 7th day. So to have the wood offering festival day, it cannot occur on the 7th day of Yahuwah. And it must always occur on the 5th month and 14th day. That's the day when everyone participated. See how it's so important to read these other books? Because when you start reading these other books, guess what? The Spirit begins to show you more things. And it begins to show you the lies of the Europeans that are what the things they had taught us for years. But let us keep going, okay? Also, the book of Genesis, the book of Exodus, the book of Ezekiel, especially chapter 46, verse 1 through 8. I'm going to try to get my screen right for you. Ben Sirach is known as the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 43. For he tells you what light in the heavens that would give his 7th day. He tells you that, but a lot of you are not paying attention. Okay, let's keep going. The gospel. Yes, the gospel provide evidence. So when you reread the gospel, I'm talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. When you read those books, pay attention to Passover and the dates. Because when you look at the Messiah crucifixion and resurrection, you will learn it only occurred on 3 days, which is Abib 14, Abib 15, and Abib 16. And remember what we said about Abib 16? It's the sheaf wave offering day. It was the same day that the Messiah was resurrected. And most importantly, let me make sure I got all of this in for you. Let me try to bring this back. Sometimes we want to mess up. Sorry. Yep, this is the devil. I can tell. He don't want this truth to get out, but we're going to get it out. But most importantly, the heavens will confirm this for those who've been observing this. Okay. Now, do you truly understand what Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 is saying? Do you truly understand that, Hebrew Israelites? Now, I know the Gentiles going to grasp this quicker, but Hebrew Israelites, do you truly understand? Because, we are known to be a stiff-necked people, so we are a little hard-headed. We won't listen to what the Spirit is telling us. Okay? So do you truly understand what Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 is saying? For Constantine and the Roman Empire, That's the fourth beast that Daniel's talking about, also known as the Roman Catholics, has kept the Israelites and the whole world from worshiping the Most High on the correct holy day. See, it's a lot of things y'all didn't know about Constantine. And in the video I'm going to tell you to watch has a link for you to read about Constantine, because a lot of people don't realize what Constantine truly did. Okay. Even the awakened Israelites, Hebrew Israelites today, are not keeping the correct holy days and feast days, for they are also out of order. So here's something else you may not know. Okay, you may not. That it first began with Constantine, my brothers and sisters, because he was the first one to enforce the Roman calendar upon the whole world. And since him, it has been continuing, which led to the Gregorian calendar. Another thing that you may not know is the changes that Constantine made. Because see, the Romans worship on Saturn Day, which is known as Saturday. And it relates to the planet Saturn because they worship Satan. Okay. And that was their market day. And on their market day, they feast and they bought things, buying and selling. Okay. But when Constantine came on the scene, that's when he changed it to Sunday. Because now when you study the Roman history in the AD period, you will learn that they were into sun worship. And Constantine god was Apollo. Okay. Now, when he made the changes, he didn't make the changes based on his religious reasons. No, my brothers and sisters. He made his changes for something else. But I'm going to let you read that for yourself. Okay. So my question for you to meditate on: how do you know the seventh day you are keeping is Yahuwah Sabbath day, his seventh day of the week? My brothers and sisters, prove all things. Provide the evidence as written in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21. And watch the playlist that's in this, that I'm going to take you to now. Give me a second. I'm going to take you to this playlist I want you to watch. Let's go to here. As usual, you know how it is. Okay. The playlist is titled The Seventh Day Confirmed. And I know that said the Sabbath. And you know how let me see, can I flip my screen to get that whole title? Yeah, the seventh day confirmed, the Sabbath day, the missing 10 days. That is the playlist, okay? And in that playlist of all the videos, including this video that I want you to watch so you can begin your research and seek out Yahuwah, okay? But the video I definitely want you to watch is dealing with the second, no, not the second one. Let me go further down. It's dealing with this video because it's going to give you more insight about Constantine and why he made those changes, because he didn't make those changes based on religious reasons. It was something else. So I want you in your spare time to watch The Seventh Day, the Sabbath Confirmed, Part 2, The History of the Fourth Beast. I'm sorry, not that one. Forgive me. The video I want you to watch to get more information about Constantine is dealing with this one. The reason why no buying and selling on the seventh day, the Sabbath, Part 3. Because in the video description box, you will have access to the article. Okay. You also have access to the photos. So you don't have to worry about writing everything down. You can go to my Google Documents and you can print those things out and you can begin your research. Okay. But the Father is bringing this out now because this is the season for the Messiah to return. And he wants you to be aware what kingdom you're in, We are in the Roman Empire, who is under the rulership of Esau, and their principality is Satan. For as is written in 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 8 through 9, the end of the world is Esau, and the beginning of the world is Jacob. Yes. So please, my brother and sister, watch that video so you can get a true understanding to what Satan and his children has done to the Most High calendar. For they truly has changed the times. And they truly have deceived the world. Even the awakened Hebrew Israelites who think they are keeping the correct day, but they're not. Which brings us just about the curse. See, the reason why the Most High put a curse on Israel, because they were so heavily into idolatry and they were being hypocrites to the point that the Most High got tired of it. So he took it away from them. And how he did it through Constantine. So again, when you read that article and you go to this video that I'm showing to you now, click on the video description box and read that article. But watch the video so you can get more insight about what that article is telling you. Okay. Let me see what else here. So, let's see here. Trying to make sure there's anything else. And when you look at the photos, some of the photos may be to other videos, but I did put the photos in this video in that same Google document. So just keep scrolling down, okay? And I do want to read this to you because this is a King James 1611 Bible, because a lot of my brothers and sisters, especially Hebrew Israelites, you're not meditating on Genesis chapter 1 verse 14. And we are to meditate. It's in the book of Joshua. We're supposed to meditate on the word, and the word is the law, day and night. Okay. So when you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, and Yahuwah said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." So I'm going to ask you this question. What are the lights in the heaven to tell you when do the seasons begin to end? What are the lights in the heaven that gives you Yahuwah holy days and feast days? And what are the lights in the heavens that give you the years? See, this is something that you're not thinking about, my brothers and sisters. And to understand the heavens, you got to be born again, and you have to be submissive to the Spirit. And that Spirit is the Messiah Spirit. For his Spirit bring the fullness of Yah, a mystery that many do not understand, because his Spirit is the Comforter Spirit. So that's something that you probably didn't even know. I ain't talking about everyone, no, some of you. So another verse to read on that, read 1 John chapter 2, verse 27. For it's the Spirit that should teach man now, not flesh, the Spirit. Also read Matthew, I believe it's chapter 28, the last chapter. Let me look it up. I think it's chapter 20, verse 28, or chapter 28, verse 20, but let me make sure. Okay. Yeah, Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. What does it mean when the Messiah tell you, "I am with you always, even to the end of the world"? That's another mystery that Hebrewites do not understand. Okay, so take this time now to meditate on Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, and ask yourself, what are the lights in the heaven to tell us when the seasons begin to end, when the day beginning end, when are Yahuwah's holy days, when are Yahuwah's holy feast days, when the years begin to end? What are these lights? Something to truly think about. Now let us go back to this tab here. So again, my brothers and sisters, how do you know that the seventh day you are keeping is Yahuwah holy day? Because if you fall in the Gregorian calendar format for the 7-day week, you ought to know that's incorrect, because when they took away those missing days, they didn't even start on the correct day of the week. So the Saturday that you are keeping is not the correct Sabbath day. That's in America and any other countries, because once Rome made the correction, later on, the other countries made the corrections in their calendars and took away some days. And they did the same format that Rome did in Italy, and that America did. So you're not keeping the correct 7th day of Yahuwah. So what can tell you is the correct 7th day? The word gives the answer, but you have to seek it. All right, let's close this out. And I want to read this part to you. And do not panic. None of us has kept the covenant from the days of our youth. Yahuwah winked at our ignorance. Acts chapter 17, verse 30, and Ben Sirach chapter 28, verse 7. Remember, the new covenant established through Yahuwshua HaMashiyach, who is the Messiah. For we are in Yahuwah's grace and mercy. Repent and proceed forward to learn Yahuwah's truth about his true Sabbath day. So I don't want you to panic, my brothers and sisters. Just repent. Because Yahuwah know why he put a curse. Okay? He know why you're not keeping the correct day, because of the curse. But now he's bringing us out of the curse, and he wants you to know his truth now. Okay? The fulfillment of Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 to 25, and I read this as quote, "An ancient proverb claimed, he who controls the calendar controls the world. Who controls you? The day on which you worship. Calculate by which calendar you use. Reveals which God you are worshiping." Page 39 of the www.4angelpublication.com. Okay? So whom are you worshiping, my brothers and sisters? Because if you're keeping Sunday worship, that is dealing with the heathens' God. If you're keeping Saturday worship, that is again dealing with the heathens' God, the Jewish people who are the sons of Esau and the son of Japheth, and they worship Satan, for they are the synagogue of Satan. So what day are you keeping? Because the day that you're keeping will identify whom you are worshiping. Okay? So let's end with this prayer. I plead the blood of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach upon this video and the links attached. I pray for my brothers and sisters who are Israelites and Gentiles that they seek your true Father about your calendar. Father, give them understanding. Give them your wisdom and knowledge about your calendar. Lead them to the resources they need to learn about your heavens and learn about your heavens and to know how to read them. Father, we also pray for Brother Alayasha and his family, that you protect them from all danger, harm, and evil, and look over their children. Send people to minister unto them and to comfort them. And also equip the husband and wife where they can minister to those who are in prison. And Father, if anything that I have not prayed in this prayer, that I ask you to fulfill it according to your will. In the name of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach, so be it. All right, my family. This concludes this video. Okay, let me go back to my title here. And remember, if you don't understand anything I say in this video, please read Luke chapter 11, verse 9 to 13. Okay? And don't seek man to understand this. Seek Yahuwah. Seek his spirit. Okay? Because the word tells us that whatever we ask in his son's name, our Father shall give it to us. All we have to do is have faith and have a righteous heart. Not a hardened heart, but a righteous heart. And Yahuwah shall give it unto you. Okay? So this concludes America missing 13 days. Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 to 25. All right, my brothers and sisters, continue to preach the gospel that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For we are in the 7th day of Adam, which is the season for the Messiah to return. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10, and baptize them in the name of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach. For the water baptism never ceased. The Lamb set the example, and the apostles in the book of Acts set the example as well. They never stopped the water baptism. Even the prophet Nat Turner did a water baptism, for he was under the commandment of the Holy Spirit to perform the water baptism. Read his confession. His video is also on my YouTube channel for you to read. Also, there's other videos on the YouTube channel to see what are the other signs in the heavens to let us know that the Messiah is coming back. Look at the new moon report and you will see the evidence given there with the scriptures. All right, my brothers and sisters, I love you all, and Shalom.